Hey everybody, it's Lord Magicus, and we're gonna play some Merfolk in Modern. So it's been a while since we touched Modern, but here we are. So a lot of people have been doing very well with Merfolk in the past couple weeks, and honestly, I'm kind of surprised because there's a lot of different builds of Merfolk that have been succeeding. There's been 5-0s from Mono Blue, from Simic, and even from Blue White. So I decided that today I wanna try some Blue White Merfolk. And the reason that I want to play Blue-White Merfolk is Prowess is definitely one of the decks to beat right now. Burn and the Gruul mid-range deck are also very high in that list. So if there's a lot of red decks in the meta, I really want to play some cards that are going to be helpful against them. So Unsettled Mariner is very nice at dealing with a lot of burn spells being pointed at your creatures or your face, because it's going to slow the opponent down by a lot. Now, every lightning bolt they pay is going to cost them 2 or sometimes even 3 mana if they want it to resolve. So I think this will help a little bit. And in the sideboard, we're also going to play some core Firewalkers, because this is like the absolute strongest thing that I think that we could board in against that deck. If they want to kill it, then they have to do something like cast Bone Crusher Giant in order to turn off its protection. But this undermines stuff like Prowess a lot, because now every red spell that they cast is actually gaining you a life, so it's almost like it's undoing the Prowess effect that they're getting from it. And yeah, it has pro red, and you don't even have to block with it. You can just threaten to block with it, and if they attack into it, you don't have to block unless you know you have Force of Negation that you can cast or something like that. So, or yeah, it's just if you can tax them out with Mariners so that they they can't resolve Stomp or anything, then yeah, you can safely block with it then. But I think having this card is just probably very good against a lot of the really popular decks right now, so I'm interested to try it out. So for that reason, we have Vial on 2, so when we take Aether Vial up to 2, we can put it into play that way. But I also am going to run 10 white sources to try to help cast it if we need to do it that way. Doing the mana base like this also is somewhat helpful against the Ponza deck, because they are running both Choke and Boil, so they're gonna really hurt all your islands. Also, they have a Blood Moon too, so if you go too heavy on one side or the other, you're gonna end up in a world of hurt. So we have plenty of non-basic lands that tap for blue, and we have plenty of basic islands to tap for blue. So by doing it like this, we're kind of forcing them. They need a combination of 2 of those cards to really shut off our mana base entirely. And I'm hoping that this will be enough. Well, so I guess we're going to find out. And it's not very painful either. I have 2 Hallowed Fountains in just to try to make the mana work, but that's it. We're not playing Waterlogged Grove type cards or anything like that. So this, hopefully, we don't. The worst thing that you can do is if you're trying to do stuff that is going to enable you against the red decks, is to just play a bunch of lands that are going to hurt your life total anyway, because that undoes the whole effect. So we're playing a mana base that is about as painless as I can make it to make this blue-white work. So yeah, I think that'll be fine. And then we have Lurrus in the sideboard too. There have been some blue-white Lurrus decks that have worked here, so I'm interested in trying it. This gives us a little bit of grind in the late game, but I mean, the sacrifice is basically you can't play Brazen Borrower and you can't play Mara Reader in the deck. But instead, we're going to fill those slots up by playing Mariner, and we also have room now to jam in some Harbinger of the Tide, so I'm totally fine with this. Harbinger seems like it's a perfectly good card to undermine a creature with prowess that has been stacked up with a huge amount of power. So yeah, that helps a little bit. Other than that, it's just the usual suspects here. We have our nice curve of Biomancer, Silvergill, or Lords, Trickster, and a split of Force of Negation, and maybe this is the one that's surprising, Dismember. You might think, okay, well, we're running white. Wouldn't we want Path to Exile? And yes, but also no. So Path sort of is a problem in that it ramps a lot of the decks up that we don't want to. You can Path an Uro, for instance, against Control, and that would be good. But you really don't want to be giving those decks like extra lands. Like their whole plan is to like ramp up and do stupid nonsense, and yeah, like the path is fine, but it also like yeah, it's just gonna make things worse in the end. So the other thing to consider, well, what one of the decks that you want to have removal against right now is the red green Ponza deck, and they're playing Blood Moon. So if they cast Blood Moon, you don't have removal anymore. So if something like Glorybringer comes down after it, you have like no actual removal spell to get rid of it. So having Dismember means even if Blood Moon sticks and you don't have access to white mana, you still have a card that can get rid of Glorybringer, which I think is important because that's one of the cards that like will very greatly swing that matchup. So I kind of want to try Dismember, and maybe we'll try Path at some point, but we're gonna start here because I don't know. I think that against some decks we don't even have that many like white sources to guarantee that we're gonna have Path all the time. We can kind of get away with it with like Firewalker because we have Aether Vial. Excuse me. Yeah, we have Vial that we're gonna stick on too. So like we have that as an option to get it in play. Like you're only stuck in like 10 white sources in total, so you could like rely on Path, but I choose not to for the most part. I would rather play, I think, Dismember and just rely on that any land that I have is going to be able to cast it. So, well, I'm going to start with that and see how that works. Otherwise, the sideboard, Force and Relics, you know, Deprive. I still want stuff if we're going up against like the Bant decks. Deprive is also fine to bring in against Tron. You don't really want forces like you don't want to have to like force too often. Like you want to be able to have 1-for-1 counters against some of these decks. So Deprive is fine there. So there's two other cards here that we haven't talked about. One of them is Generous Gift. So this is another card I thought I want something that, since I don't have Brazen Borrower, I need something that can deal with Ensnaring Bridge. And yeah, I could put like Borrower in here and turn off Luris, but I think that I want to try this instead. So this also has the ability, like if for some reason Karn comes out in like turn 3, we have a way to get rid of it now. Or if like Ugin comes out, like we can actually kill the Ugin and then try to rebuild a board, hopefully. So it can bail you out of some really bad situations. Giving them a 3/3 Elephant token is not that big a deal. Normally you're going to be blowing up something that's worth way more than that. You can even blow up a Tron land and keep them off of Tron, which is actually pretty important sometimes. But it's an answer to Ensnaring Bridge, and it also deals with stuff like Warship if we ever come up against like a deck that's playing that. Probably not worried about that too much, but I do, like I said, I want something for Bridge at least, and I think this, yeah, we're playing white, so why don't we try playing the white cards? We don't really play white that often, so you could play some other cards like what is it? Damn it, Nature's Chant, right? The green-white hybrid disenchant card, like that's fine in this slot too. But I mean, this also might be better against the control decks too. Like if you can kill like a Jace or Big Teferi or something like that with it, that's probably like a huge win. Other than that, the other one, Aether Gust. So this is the card that we can bring in against those red decks as well, and it's like a harbinger kind of effect that also slows them down because now that they're gonna draw the card that you just put on top of their deck usually. So all right, they go in big with like Soulscar Mage, and you just Aether Gust it to the top of their deck. They can't replay it this turn. They have to wait till next turn to play it, and then a turn after that to be able to attack with it. So it can buy you a lot of time. In addition, it's also good with stuff like Uro. They cast it and then exile their graveyard to like cast it again. Then you just like put it on top of their deck, so they don't get to actually attack with it, and then they have to cast it like 2 more times before they ever get to attack with it. So it can help there. It deals with Blood Moon. It can like put it on top of their deck, so maybe you have time to deploy some of the white cards that might be stuck in your hand. Or it also deals with stuff like Glorybringer too, where just put Glorybringer on top of their deck so they don't get to, like, they tap out big for it and they think they're going to go in for an attack. Well, don't let them do that. Or same thing, if they play like a Planeswalker, you just gust it to the top of their deck and like they're tapped out for a turn. It gives you another chance to find an answer to it, or just try to kill them before that card does anything. So I think this is fine. It's even good against the Titan decks, because you can Aether Gust the Titan through stuff like Counter or Cavern of Souls or Veil of Summer. So yeah, their spells are uncounterable, but this is not countering it, so can actually get through that. So I think that's how I want to try doing this. I don't know. I'm interested to see how it works. So I guess we're gonna find out. So let's go play us some Modern. Okay, here we are, round 1. We are on the play versus Grape Lightning. So let's choose our companion to reveal. This hand looks okay. It's not perfect, but I think it's good enough. We're gonna keep it. It's a little bit threat light. That means we do have a vial that we can throw away for Luris if we need to. Okay, we'll find out what we're up against here. Maybe Harbinger can buy us some time against whatever deck that we're facing. Polluted Delta, neat. Okay. So I don't really think I'm inclined to play anything this turn. Which I guess I can just play another Aether Vial. Yeah, I don't need to play Harbinger right now. There's a good chance that one of these vials is getting ticked up to 3. So Hollowed Fountain, so it might be like Esper, or maybe Bat Pens. This could be Stoneblade. I mean, this is a good turn. I could just put Luris in my hands, because if they play something like Teferi next turn and try to like bounce my Aether Vial, I can... yeah, they have to tap out for that. I can just bounce, or I could Vial this in response. I guess the problem is if they tick it up. But there's not much I can really do about that. No, I think it's fine, because then even if they followed up with like a Verdict, we'll have Luris, we can Vial it in, and then we can get stuff back right away, so... just put it in our hand and pass. So we're opt. So my guess is this is either Stoneblade or it's just... or like the Uro control deck. Maybe they're not playing Uro though. Like Polluted Delta makes me really question that. It is Stoneblade, okay. That's fine. They got Sword of Fire and Ice, okay. So Sword of Fire and Ice is definitely, they're gonna just... I don't want to bounce the Stoneforge back to their hand yet. I guess I could just put Harbinger in, and then they might Path Harbinger. But if they do, that's fine. So we need to do something. This Sword of Fire and Ice is gonna be a problem. So tick this up. I guess I just tick this one up. That's fine. I don't think I need this mana right now, so there's no reason to just show it to him. There's no way they're going to block it, so... I think here they're very likely just going to put a sword in play. If they try to path the Lord, I can just force it, so... That's sort of helpful. So with 5 mana in their hands, let's see, what do they want to do? Equip. Alright. No, I'm not going to block. I'll wait to see what they target with the sword. Presumably the Lord. I'll save it like this. Might have another path. So what do they do here? Okay, so they can just bounce one of the lords. I can just Violin Luris though if I want. Yep. This is a good turn to do this. That's also pretty good. Let's see. I don't think I really care about killing Teferi right now. They have 6 cards. Can put them to 5. I'm just trying to think. So like, I can just play Silvergill here. If they kill off a Lord, I still have this one to put in play. I don't think I'm going to kill Teferi right now. If they have Verdict, I want them to cast it. Chances are I'm going to put the Mariner in play in their turn, so... Well, they're facing down a really bad situation, so I'm kind of forcing them to wipe the board here, and then I still get to go in for at least like 3 damage. Okay. So they might Verdict on our turn. Yeah, if they don't kill Luris, then yeah, I can just replay the Lord. That's not that big a deal. I feel like there's a verdict coming, though. Because if they don't, then it's fine. Okay. So we'll put Mariner in here. This is the easiest way to go for our win here. So they have to get rid of 2 things. Here. Shark Typhoon. That doesn't do it. Yeah, they're dead. Alright, cool. Alright, so that was game 1 versus Stoneblade. So, let's see. What do we not want versus them? Probably Spreading Seas. That's really bad. I think we do want this Generous Gift. Let's see. They might have Mystic Sanctuaries. So, like, Relic is fine. Honestly, like, Harbinger is okay. It's not perfect versus their deck. Just counter spells are generally fine against them. So we really don't want Teferi resolving. Core Firewalker might be a surprise against them, but doesn't really do anything because like they equip Stoneforge, and yeah, that's that. Harbinger is like a little bit awkward because of like Batterskull having Vigilance. 27 creatures. We're definitely keeping the Dismembered. I'm just trying to think, do I want like Deprives over these? It's possible. Could also take out a land. Take out 1 Harbinger and 1 Island and just... Oops, no. Bring in the Deprives. I think this is okay. We should have a decent matchup versus Stoneblade, as long as we don't get blown out by something like Shark Typhoon. And Teferi is a problem sometimes because it can just turn off our interactive spells when we need them, but when is Teferi not a problem? That's a good question. This hand is slow as hell, but I think I'm keeping this just... Yeah, there's not like much that's going to be better, so I'm not like a huge fan of this. Guess Seachrome first. Yeah, the Deprives are also kind of important because we really want to counter Stoneforge Mystic with it. Harbinger doesn't really do anything against Stoneforge, and Deprive kind of does. So, okay, I think this turn I'm probably not going to play anything either. I think we just wait. We have time. We can definitely get to like 4 mana to the point where we can like play stuff into Deprive. So if they play Teferi, I definitely need to like counter it. So I don't want to just let them resolve Teferi. No, okay. My turn. That's fine. No, I'm not going to show them anything. Trickster's good. Now I have something I can play in their end step if they don't do anything. So they haven't found a white source yet. Whatever. Drawing 2 cards is not the end of the world. They found their white source finally. We might have Spell Snare or Spell Pierce. Okay. Well, that's fucking horrific. Of course. They just had to fairy plus that and... Well, hello there, beautiful. Here's a good question. Do they have Force of Negation? I might want to just, like, blow this thing up right now. Let's play the Silvergill first. That's why I need this. Because drawing Aether Vial is much better now, because we can blow this thing up at any point in the future. We can also save this for a sword, so... If I do draw like a Force of Negation, then I can get it online by killing this. What are you gonna do? Probably Charm. Sanctuary is a hell of a card. They can bounce Silvergill, draw a card, play Sanctuary, steal my Aether Vial. No, they're gonna go this route, okay. And just have a counterspell up the whole time. Interesting. So here's the problem, like, I want to kill this Teferi, but I feel like they probably have Shark Typhoon. And if like, Archmage's Charm is, like, certainly going to counter whatever it is that I play here. And if they play Shark Typhoon, like, I can't play around all of this stuff. So what's the most likely thing they're going to have? If they counter this, then maybe I can stick this Lord. Because I want this thing off the board. Interesting. What does this mean? Does this mean you have, like, Path to Exile plus Typhoon? Alright, I guess we're gonna find out. No, okay. Interesting. I'm not gonna replay the Vial just yet. I have a Deprive up, so I want to make use of it. They did have Shark Typhoon, okay. So they need triple blue up in order to cast that thing. I don't think they're... This attack seems really sketchy to me. You are not really the aggressor here. So let's see, if they try to play like a Snapcaster or another Shark Typhoon, I have Trickster plus Deprive up, so I'm hoping that's going to be enough. That's really interesting. Okay, let's play the Aether Vial now. You have to, like, counter... No! What the fuck? What do you have in your hand that you are just... I don't get this. This seems incredibly sketchy. You have another Shark Typhoon? Interesting. Okay. Maybe they're going to try to take me off of white mana here. Yeah, it's fine. Maybe, or they might have Supreme Verdict. Do I really care if they steal Ether Vial? I kind of do, actually. I don't want them taking my Vial. That's our way to get our creatures into play uncounterably. Well, this means Generous Gift is going to be offline. Maybe I can blow up the Sword of Feast and Famine. That's interesting. They're just going to play it. They're surprisingly close to just dying right now. Let's see. This would be... Wait, is this lethal? Let's see. It would be 5, 10, 14? No, not quite. But it's very close. So I can just attack with all these things and then blow up their Sword of Feast and Famine. I don't really want to commit the Lords right now. I don't really need to. Just trying, like, we have 4 cards in hand. Like, I guess one of them could be Force of Negation. I don't think they see this coming, though. So the question is, let me just make sure I'm doing math here, right? So, right now we have 8 in play. Yeah, I could attack them for 14, but that's not enough. I have the option to put 1 Lord in play and then go in like that, and then I can hold back a Master and a Mariner. If I put 1 Lord in play, I can blow up the sword. They like wipe the board. That's still not really good though. Putting them to 7 might be fine. No, okay, I'm gonna play a Lord here. So they're at 4. So if they have like Verdict, they could use it and wipe the board, but if they don't have a sweeper, then they're just dead. Yeah, they cannot afford to crack that Flooded Strand. Yeah, they're going to definitely Verdict this turn. I feel like they have to. That's the only reason they throw away Stoneforge like that. Yep. Okay, well now this Mariner is lethal with the Master. Jace the Mind Sculptor, okay. So we're going to tick this Vial up to 2. just gonna put Mariner out. I guess this is a good opportunity to put Luris in my hand. Alright. I can just Violin Adept now if they get rid of Mariner somehow, and then... yeah, then Master can just finish them. Interesting. Okay, how about you pay 1 mana first? Alright, so they have another verdict. Alright. I'm just giving giving myself a chance to draw another Lord and try to win like that. Putting the Silver Galop might have been a little bit greedy. Yeah, that charm into Verdict was like perfect that turn. That was exactly what they needed. I think we're still doing okay, but we could be doing better. They cracked this fetch land, then they're in a lot more danger, so I guess Stoneforge now. You get Batterskull and just cast Batterskull. So I guess we need to draw a Lord. Or if we draw a white source, we could play Luris. Well, we'd have to draw like exactly either Cavern of Souls or Hollowed Fountain. None of the other ones work right now. They didn't opt to play the Batterskull yet. That's interesting. That's also interesting. They have another Shark Typhoon, don't they? So I'm hoping that I can kind of surprise them here. I don't want to try to save this thing right now. Do I could do this, but I really want to hold this for the Batterskull. Damn it. That was probably like a very dangerous attack. I'm basically just like losing here. I think I've screwed up too many times to win this game. Yeah, because I can just put Batterskull in and equip it. We have no chance of winning at that point. So, fuck. Alright, what do I want here? I don't know, we were close. I think I should have just played maybe a little bit more patiently at the end. Alright, I'm keeping this. I'm just praying they don't have Force of Negation. That's it. Otherwise, this hand is, like, great. They mulled to 6, that's good. You want to path my Benthic Biomancer, that's totally okay with me, too. Alright. Nothing. Come on, draw lands, please. So there's no Typhoon at this point, so we're fine. If they want to path me, that can only help right now, so I'm gonna commit here. Now I have a big attack for next turn, too. $13, huh? Do I even care about this? They're at 13, like... I could force this, but I almost kind of just want to keep the Trickster in my hand. I guess I'm just worried if they play Verdict next turn, I'm not going to have anything to rebuild from that. Like, what is the worst thing that they could bounce the Aether Vial. That might actually be a problem, so... Yeah, I guess I have to. I need to protect this Vial. Just hope they don't have Verdict. No, they do not. That means they probably are dead. It just gives us more ways to kill them. Like, they have to be dead here. Or at least close, like they pay 2 mana to path. That is not going to do it. They're still taking 7 damage, so even if they block this Lord, it doesn't matter. Okay, we win. Yeah. So, yeah, I think I probably could have played cleaner in the second game. Like, we got pretty close at the end, and then I just kept going hard on it, so... Here, you want to see what I'm doing? I'll show you. Yeah, like we had like 2 ways to deal with that and it didn't matter. But yeah, so they mulligans and they didn't have the verdict in turn 4, so that's really kind of what it was. So, I mean, we would have probably struggled to get across the line. If we were drawing the Mutavault and we had the Trickster, maybe we could have. It was, but I don't know. The Cryptic is definitely hard. But yeah, once we got Aether Vial out, like that was hard because the only thing they had to deal with it was they went for Teferi because they only had either that or Archmage's Charm, so they could have tried stealing it, but either way, I was just gonna force it. They could have tried taking the Vial on my turn, but I guess I don't know. Yeah, no, their mana just like screwed them. Celestial Colonnade coming in tapped was like huge for us. So, but yeah, we crushed Stoneblade. I think this was fine. I think in general, like this is probably a reasonable match for us. It's just you gotta watch out for this thing. This thing is brutal. Like it is so powerful in this cycling mode. Like, and it only gets like ridiculously stronger if they ever actually cast it because that just wins the game. Turns every single like op they play into a flying shark. Every like counterspell into another shark. So like once this thing sticks, like you are screwed. So. But the fact that they can make an XX flying that draws them a card and it's uncounterable at instant speed, that's also like, yeah, it's hard to play around it sometimes. Just it wasn't enough to like do anything here. So, well, this is a good start to this league. So I guess we'll see how the rest of this goes. Thanks everybody for watching.